Here we go. The bopping will begin.
Huh.
Here it comes. We got the dancing brown bag lunch right there. And the dancing Dwight and David picture. Hello and welcome to the HR Data Labs Brown Bag Lunch, sponsored by Salary.com and on the Work Defined Podcast Network. I am your host, David Turetsky, alongside my co-host, partner in crime, best friend, still, Dwight Brown.
Still.
Still.
No,
He's got a timeline for you.
I don't
Dwight.
think you've done anything to make me want to change that.
You never know, Dwight. You never know.
Yeah, exactly.
And today we have with us a very special guest, someone we had prayed would be on the podcast several times, and our prayers went unanswered until today. Jordan Morrow. Jordan, how are you?
I'm doing so well. I felt lightning hit me, so the prayer was answered, and I got to my
Is that where your hair
and I
went?
said,
Dude, really?
It's sunny where I live, but nope, the lightning bolt hit me. And I got to go get on the computer. So here we are.
There's going to be lightning around my area. So.
You got burns on your back from the lightning.
I do. It's not a sunburn. It's a lightning burn.
Wow. Wow. Jordan, tell us a little bit about yourself for the people who don't know
all
who
around
Jordan Morrow
geek and nerd.
There we go.
Yeah, I mean, I work in data and AI, essentially a chief data and AI officer. I write books, I write and talk, I speak around the world, and I'm a nerd. I read like crazy. Like I had 3 books arrive at my house yesterday, all around Taoism, because I like to study religions.
Really?
No.
I've got my journal next to me. I've got a rugby shirt on because when we're done here, I'm going to recruit for the team I coach in collegiate rugby.
Oh, wow.
And I've got 5 kids in a very non-busy life. No, okay, it's super busy. My wife is the superhero of all of this because, like, we're a great team partnership, and she puts up with all my bullcrap.
There you go. That's a great introduction. But before we get into our topic for today, which is AI in HR, we have to ask you, what's the last thing you did for the first time?
Oh.
Yeah.
I struck my lightning. No, I'm just kidding.
God forbid.
Last thing I did for the very first time. Oh my gosh. Read from the Tao Te Ching this morning.
There you go.
Oh, there we go.
There you
There
go.
we go. I actually had something
There you had something right to hand, too.
Right
Not
next
many
to
people
me.
can do that,
Goodness.
Jordan.
Had the props and everything.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I was thinking, you know what? They're probably going to ask me about. No, I wasn't thinking.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to ask me about the Dow book.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Were you a Boy Scout? Is that why you're so well prepared?
I was, but I'm not an Eagle Scout.
That's
So,
okay. I never made it past the boy.
yeah, well, I got to the point. We'll tell you where my mindset was. I got to the point, I think all I needed left was that Eagle Project thing, and I didn't even do it. Got started, didn't finish, and was like, all right, we're good.
It's like your thesis. You never finished your thesis.
Absolutely.
Your Boy
I'm
Scout
a lifelong
thesis.
learner. I couldn't ever put a finish behind it.
Or
you
your
know?
Eagle Scout thesis, I guess. That's okay. We love you anyways.
Thank
It's all
you.
right. So today we're going to be talking about something that really nobody in HR is talking about. Nobody in the world of work is talking about, which is artificial intelligence.
None. No one knows what it is.
Yeah.
What the hell are we talking about?
They
Well,
think
we better
Terminator's
paint a
coming.
picture or
They think
something.
Terminator's flying back in time right now, you know?
but that's actually one of the points is that what the hell is it? Because I think a lot of us think we know what really artificial intelligence is. In fact, Dwight and I study it all the time. But there's still a lot of misconception. So, Jordan, you're as deep in it as anybody. What, from your perspective, is artificial intelligence in the world of human resources?
Yeah, like for me, we have to take a step back to really understand this because I do think there's a big misunderstanding that ChatGPT and generative AI, that's AI. It is, but it's a part, right? The term artificial intelligence was coined all the way back in 1956. The first chatbot came out during the 1960s.
Wow.
This is not new.
No.
And we've been living with Siri and Alexa and smart text and all these things for a very long time. Now, when we define it in HR, any field, AI or artificial intelligence, think about it as a computer or machine that can think like a human. Now, it doesn't mean it can do everything we do thinking wise. It's not necessarily conscious that we know of yet, and reasoning, are we good with it? But it moves beyond a standard software, and it's able to think like we do.
Right.
And what generative AI and ChatGPT did is it put it into the hands of the masses and made it super consumable. Whereas before that, it's very technical, machine learning, all these things that are big data sets, all of that. And even generative AI behind the scenes is massive. But for the end user, it's a simple chat box that is very good at what it does. And so that's how I would define it.
But even the consumer experiences that we've had with Siri and Alexa and Hey Google, those go back almost, actually, they do go back decades now. And we don't adopt them. I mean, we're not talking to them like you would think, and the movies have kind of portrayed.
Yeah, we always joked about Siri. I mean,
it's just not, just like most tech things. If we think about the world population, and this really fits into human resources, 90 to 99% of people are not as nerdy as me. They don't need to dig into this like I do, because I run it, I build it, I speak about it. And so, but that's data and AI in general, from a data analyst up through the most intelligent machine learning engineer. 99% of people don't need to fit in that realm. So they hear about all these buzzwords, they hear about the hype, the dystopia, the utopia. But when it comes down to nuts and bolts, the way we should approach this in HR and everywhere is, what value does it really derive? And how can we use this to improve ourselves and our business?
Right.
When we think of it that way, you might not ever use ChatGPT until you get machine learning down. Or you might not use machine learning and you just give efficiency through generative AI. But that makes so much more sense than, well, let's just buy a tool and see what it does.
Right.
That's not the route.
Yeah.
Well, and we have to do a use case. We have to do an ROI analysis every time we try and hire something or make investments in something. And this is no different.
100%. And that's been that way with data for a very long time. Think about Microsoft Excel. I would argue probably 90 to 99% of people don't get the most out of it that they could. They use it for things that they're comfortable with and they use it.
Sure.
Then you've got Tableau and Power BI. Those adoption rates are low. And if you don't understand that AI adoption rates for use cases and POCs is even lower than that, I would argue.
Right.
So I'm with you. Don't just go buy the software. Find pain points, find areas to use it, implement, see if you get a return. And if you don't know where to start, guess what you could do? Ask generative AI. Hey, we want to implement a use case with you. This is our business. What could we actually do?
Well, and so often, especially because people don't really know what AI is at this point, but they know that it's the buzzword. They know that everybody's looking for it. So there are all kinds of companies out there saying, we got to do AI with no clue, no use case, like you were talking about, David. They have no idea what it means, but they want to put that moniker on what they do.
Yeah. But because everybody's talking about it, and they feel like if they're not getting on board, they've lost an opportunity. But they're not, to Jordan's point, they're not thinking about what is the problem that I'm trying to solve. They're just saying, hey, let's go get this tool and let's find a problem to solve.
Yeah, exactly. And let's put the AI icon on our website.
Exactly. Or rename ourselves.
And what's super interesting about it is if you just say your AI and start doing it versus do it very systematically with a roadmap and ROI, then you might fall behind those who appeared to be going slower than you. When in reality, they're just being, very deliberate.
Strategic,
in how they do it.
Yeah.
I want to go back to when we first had you on the show, which was in our season 3. It was March of 22. Two episodes later from our conversation, we had Holger Mueller, who's a really good friend of mine. He's more of a enterprise software guru in the analyst world. And the name of that podcast was "Why Has AI Not Arrived in HR?" That was in 22.
Yep.
Think about the sea change that's happened in the world of AI.
Absolutely.
And think about it from the things we're talking about now. But what's fascinating is, Jordan, we're still talking about what the hell's the use case.
Yes, absolutely. So I went to the SHRM event last year. so many things are talking about AI, but if you had gone in and actually sat there and said, you vendors that have all these different booths, tell me how you're implementing it. Show me ROI, show me use cases, get the buzz out.
Right.
I don't know if you would have found one that was truly AI native, driving agentic or all these things and making it work.
Right.
It's all a buzz.
Right.
It's like, hopefully listeners don't get mad at this because I'm about to kind of disparage Harvard for a quote it gave. Harvard, wonderful university, don't get me wrong. But in October 2012, they said the sexiest job of the 21st century was the data scientist. And every company did what? Tried to go hire a data scientist and not got a lot of value. Right now, everything is generative AI, agentic AI, all of this. Everyone's trying to do it, not getting value. We see this cycle repeat over and over. And in HR, instead of the cycle, focus on a pain point of one use case, and it can be super small, and then let the momentum grow.
Yeah. Yeah, and it even getting to that use case can be difficult.
Sure.
Because if you don't understand a little bit of what AI is, you don't even know how to identify that use case. And
Right.
What's interesting about that is the World Economic Forum released January this year, the 2030 jobs report or whatever it was, top 10 fastest growing skills of 2030. Well, number one should make sense. It's AI, big data. Number two was cybersecurity and like network security, something like that.
Makes sense.
But 6 of the next like 7 or whatever are human related. One of them is talent management. That's not one of the 6. And then one was environmental stewardship because this takes a lot of energy to use.
Yep.
But 6 of the 10 are human related. And what's so interesting to me about that is that's how we should frame this from an HR perspective. It's about how do we hire the right skills?
Right.
How do we hire and figure out who knows how to build the use cases, Dwight said, and are we building out in the development plans of every employee AI literacy, where we're truly upskilling people to compete intelligently with the tool, not be superseded by the tool.
But Jordan, I think in that same vein, we have to think about upskilling the executives who are making
100%.
those ROI decisions.
Yeah.
Because they're literally
absolutely.
throwing gigantic amounts of money out the freaking window, like you were mentioning before, by not really fully understanding what they're buying into.
And that is a key. AI literacy is not just for end users. Executives have a different level of AI literacy. I don't need to have them know ins and outs. I need them to understand what does it do and why it does what it does so you can apply it to business use cases. So you're not throwing money away. Like, did you see, I think one of the latest contracts, now this is AI engineer or whatever, and it might have been Meta, who paid $1.5 billion over a 4-year period for one, like AI master. 1.5 billion.
For one what?
Meta understands how to use AI. So think about, I'm not saying any executive, like I'm going to charge $2 billion for me. No, there's no way anyone's paying me $2 billion. But what I'm getting at is if executives are willing to throw money around, wouldn't it make sense you know what you're getting? Meta is getting a brilliant AI specialist who knows what they're doing. When an executive, now I'm not sure it's worth 1.5 billion, but when an executive says we need AI, they better understand what that means. They better understand change management.
Sure.
They better understand how it applies to the culture. Do they have good emotional quotient or emotional intelligence to know when you bring that tool in, people are going to wonder, does that mean I'm losing my job? And an executive doesn't know how to communicate through that well, bigger problems could occur than spending $10 million for a tool.
That's so true because you look at the fear around AI at this point, and these companies say we're going to implement AI, and the first thing that goes through everybody's head is I'm going to be replaced, and that's the biggest misnomer out there. It's
Well, because the fear, uncertainty, and doubt is being put in their minds because you get these morons who are looking for their soundbite and 15 seconds of fame who say, oh, AI is going to replace people. Oh, shut the hell up. It is not going to replace people. It's not replacing people for decades at this point.
It's just going to change what people do. That's
like
all.
we say,
For me, when the Anthropic CEO came out and said it could kill 50% of white-collar entry-level jobs, My thought is, why would we say replace and kill versus reposition? Right? Like companies that have, I think, gone the AI route for roles, at least one has had to backtrack and be like, wait, that didn't work. So why are we not?
Yeah.
And I understand in industrial revolutions, jobs get eliminated, but jobs get created. That's a literacy that senior leaders need to have. When we do this, how do we reposition our employees? And they're not good at it. They just think cutting people's the answer, and that's not it.
Well, but I think it's the latest, like, crappy excuse for letting people go. Though,
100%.
Yeah.
Because they're not, and by the way, they're not taking that investment they're getting from all of the savings that, you know, they're of all those people being like, they're not taking that money and pouring it into AI initiatives because, to your point before, there is a use case there that they haven't developed yet.
Yeah.
So are they just taking the money, banking it, and just waiting for the right use case to come along to then throw the money in, or are they just adding it to their bottom line right away?
For me, it's a very interesting question because I would guess in some cases it goes to the bottom line, but I do think a lot of leaders think they're doing something genuine. I do, and I get some aren't. Some are absolutely going to do it to just boost stock price and get their share. I get that. But I do think there are a lot that want to do right. Like I work for an organization where the senior leaders are like human in the loop. How do we make this work? And it stands out. Like, has them been taught? Yes, this can do the work of 5 people, but what do we do then? How can we reposition them for more effective strategic work, right? So I do think that they are trying, but instead there's surface level trying, which means, oh yeah, we're invested in this. And then there's the nitty gritty that says, can we redefine how we are doing things? How does AI help that? That is a longer road. It's a longer process. It's not as sexy, but in 2 to 3 years, you're going to get more value out of it than, oh, we did this, we're good, and we let go of 5,000 people. Our reputation is damaged because everybody now knows, and it's instead invest now for 2, 3, 4 years down the road.
Right.
Tell me a current company, if you can. Tell me a current company that has taken an investment in AI and actually turned it into a strategic advantage right this second.
My organization.
Oh, really?
Yes. So,
Really?
Great.
but the way I went about it was the way we've talked about it. Use case based. We're not just going to jump at the hype. We're going to prove it out. We did it for an RFP process. And in that RFP process, if the people answering the RFP are answering 75 questions plus, we were able to use generative AI to take it down from 15 hours down to like 2 or 3. That's 12 to 13 hours of savings.
We need to talk, Jordan.
Yes, because then what we did with that, it becomes, instead of manually answering those, allow it to answer it, but then you implement the human into it. Because we know the answers aren't going to be perfect. They're getting us started, and it freed people up. I have a community at my organization, and that community is all, and there's like 40, 50 people in it, all about sharing ideas. Well, I did this, and that way they're sharing, but we're use case based, and I will key this into people too. One of my biggest initiatives is machine learning, predictive analytics, because I think through the generative AI world, that's been forgotten, but that's still part. So I work in the talent space, right? And so can I help an organization predict what skills they're going to need? Time to fill metrics, how you get people in positions, how do you transition someone from a temp worker to a full-time worker? All use case based. And so that's where I would say, David, for me, it's because I'm use case focused, not tool focused. I get hit up all the time for tools. How many do you think I actually look at? 0, basically.
Yeah.
I take initiative out to talk to people. But I get where you're going with it, David. They're not, most companies aren't doing that. If I go talk to him, I think a lot of times I brought in to do what I've done here, there.
Yeah. I'm worried that all the talk just adds to the stress load that employees are living through right now, whether it's because of the political environment or the economic environment. They feel tenuous in their roles. They feel tenuous at home. There's desperation for a lot of people because of where they are financially. And this just adds more stress and anxiety to them.
Oh,
and
100%.
It shouldn't.
Shouldn't.
It really shouldn't, especially because it's a learnable skill. And, you know, I think that's that's a big piece. It's like, okay, I've got anxiety about losing my job over AI. I can sit and let the train run me over, or I can get out ahead of it, start reading books, blogs, magazines, webinars, you know, anything and everything that I can digest on this.
Well, what you're hitting on, I'm
It's
writing my 5th book right now. It's all about data and AI skills and developing confidence for everyone. Because
Mhm.
you don't need to be a machine learning engineer, don't need to be a data scientist.
Right,
All you need to do is learn how to take your human side, your intuition, your gut feel. Those things matter. Those are personal data points.
yeah,
Apply them with the AI and data to make smarter decisions. I unleashed a
yeah.
new Substack recently called Badass Mentoring, Unlocking Greatness, something like that. I encourage
Mhm.
everyone to go to it. I'm going to talk AI. I'm going to talk about basically, Dwight, I'm like you. Don't let this run past you. Become a
Mhm.
part of it. And that doesn't mean studying statistics and coding and all these things. It
Right.
means learning. I use Gemini, Google's generative AI. How can I
Mhm.
apply Gemini in my career and my personal life to be better? And
But
if you
Yeah.
think about, oh, go ahead, David.
yeah, sorry, Jordan. I got to tell you though, that's where people get scared. They
Yes,
don't know how to actually apply it,
yeah,
and they think it's this magic thing, or they think it's a scary thing, and they've been
Mhm.
conned into believing that you have to be a developer or you have to be in computer science to actually
Mhm.
deal with it,
yeah,
and they won't try it because they're worried. And not
yes,
only that, but they've been told by these idiots who are at the top of these stupid organizations that we're going to replace you. Well, all right, what do I
Right.
do then? So
yeah.
to your point, love what you're talking about. Sorry, I didn't mean to
Oh,
interrupt,
you're
but
great.
that's what people are so afraid of. They're afraid
Yes,
of just
Mhm.
stepping off into the
it
fray.
is. And it's something I learned a long time ago, right? We're afraid of stepping into the dark. But when we do, we find that it's lit up a little bit more than we realized.
Right.
And what I try and
Yeah.
do, I travel the world speaking, right? Like I tell people, you are better at this than you know. Here's my smartphone, right? When I travel, one app that I need to check on pretty much every time I go is the weather app. What is the weather going to be where I go?
Right.
And then I
Right. Yeah.
know, pack a heavy coat, it's going to be cold. Don't pack a heavy coat, you're going to melt. It's going to rain, it's going to snow. Is my flight going to be delayed? What people don't realize, to your point, David, is all the sound bites, the 15 seconds of fame are all over here. But in reality, they're already doing things without even realizing it. Do you use your weather app to check out the weather? When your gas tank goes
Right.
low, that's a data driven decision.
Yeah.
When you sit there and
Yeah.
Google now, it pulls up AI. And so you're exactly right, David. It takes, and Dwight, you said this, it takes personal effort to just jump in. It's like
Mhm.
all of us probably do this. Like I have, when I get into water to go swimming, whether it's a lake or a pool, we fill the water first, and then we might tiptoe in, and eventually you get in. And then those
Yeah.
who seem to thrive in it more just jump in. And the reality is, I don't like jumping in, but I know it's better. If I
Yeah.
just jump in, get under, you have 1 to 3 seconds of pain, and then you're like, oh, I'm fine. This is great. And
Right.
it's
Right.
similar. I think when you step into the darkness, it lights up a little more. When you jump into the water, you adjust quicker. I agree. What I encourage everyone to do is, if you don't know where to start, literally open ChatGPT and say, I am brand
Right.
new to this. How do I get going? And let it, and just
Right.
talk to it and ask
Yep.
it, and
Right.
you'll start.
And if you're one of those
Yeah.
people who needs to have a course in it, Google has free
Yeah.
courses. I know that
Microsoft. Yep.
Microsoft
Yeah.
Copilot's in basically, by the way, in every Microsoft application now
It's there.
too.
Just
Yeah.
ask it. You could be
I'm
in a
looking at the
spreadsheet.
icon now. It's
Yeah.
yep.
And I'm going to give, and I don't get any kickback on this. So Ethan Mollick, he's an associate professor. I hope you get some money off this. His book Co-Intelligence is brilliant. That should be mandatory reading for everyone. And the reason is
Co-intelligence. What's his name?
Co-Intelligence by Ethan Mollick, Mollick. It is a primer on just exist with it. Don't let it supersede you. Don't you supersede it. Like we're
Mhm.
using right now Riverside. We're using the internet. We have microphones and speakers. Those are just tools at our disposal. Make AI your partner at your disposal versus
Right.
fearing it, right? Abacus was the old calculator. Calculator comes out. Oh no. Newspapers turn into smartphones. Oh no, the internet is here. Now, what I
Right.
would say is our brain is hijacked. There is a worry on my side that over reliance on these things weaken our cognitive muscles. Just like going to the gym,
Yeah.
the same thing. So, but I don't think it's AI that started that. I think social media did.
Well, Google started that actually.
Yeah, well, yeah, you go back
Yeah.
long ago, yeah. But what I love is if you frame it right, what the internet did is it democratized information. So now everybody accesses it easier, for good or bad. What AI has done is democratized intelligence. So if people start to view it as their own PhD partner, not a tool
Yep.
to supersede you, but your partner, hopefully that demystifies that fear a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, when you really think about AI and what it is, to what we were talking about before, it's been around since the 50s, and we've been doing machine learning. AI is just that human element built on top of all of this really complicated stuff, and
Yeah, yeah.
it's
Yeah, finish your thought.
and well, yeah.
I think we all three moved
Anyway,
really quick, and then it was like, who's going to talk?
yeah, exactly.
Dwight.
This
Well-
is why my brain couldn't be an AI brain, but I can tell you that you just witnessed the fact that I can learn AI. You can definitely learn AI.
But what got you
listeners,
there was the ability
Right.
to learn how to develop prompts or
Yeah.
how to develop
Right.
the way in which to utilize the technology and ask it the right questions.
Right.
Whereas just going to ChatGPT, as Jordan said, you have to learn how to do it. You have to ask it how to create the right prompts. Even knowing that it's called a prompt
Yeah.
is, well, okay, that's next level, right? And now, how do I develop a prompt? Well, you can try and then fail 1,000 times,
Yeah.
and it teaches you along the way. Jordan, somebody said to me, and I don't know if it was you, Dwight, but someone really brilliant, so it had to have been you, said the way to get better at prompts is to ask the technology, is
Right.
this the right way of asking this prompt?
Yeah.
Are there other things I need to ask?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's literally a tutor, if we think of it that way, right? And for me, there's two things that anyone can do to get better at this. It's, well, three, counting what you just said, David, because that's exactly right. I'm all about, if you don't know, ask it. That is huge. But number one, just practice 10 minutes a day. That's where you just need to start. I think so many people are like, man, it's going to be so time consuming. No, it's not. You could literally go into it. Like my son is doing a powerlifting competition. He has his weight class that he wants to do, but he wants to bulk above it and then cut right before the weigh-in so that he's good. And he's like, I know what I'll do. I'll ask ChatGPT. And it built down a model.
Yeah.
So I've had him using this for 6 months to a year with his fitness and things like that. But number one, all it takes is practice, just like riding a bike. And then as you get on it, you get better.
Right.
Number two is it's don't get caught up in New Year's resolution syndrome, where you have this big idea, I want to do it. I think everybody is genuine, but your roadmap and your consistency kill you. So
Right.
routine, consistent, small bite-sized chunks, and you can do it. And to your point, David, ask it, hey, I want the best cookie recipe in the world. Show me. And how do I cook it? And what ingredients do I need? It'll build it. And it'll build a really good recipe.
Yeah.
So go try it.
Well, the other
Right.
thing is, I think Dwight said this before, everything is evolving so fast that if you don't flex this muscle, you don't get to use the
Yeah.
new and
Yeah.
latest. And so what you may have known 3 months ago may have been changed now because the models are different, or even the version of whatever it is now new, and
Yep.
it wants
Yep.
something new, it wants something else. So
I have something directly to this real quick, Dwight. I was asked about this very thing. With these things moving so fast, if I learn one, by the time I'm done, a new one is here. And this was at a workshop I was doing down in South Africa. And that was a very good question because I'm like, don't focus on the tool. Focus on the process that you're learning. Because even as it advances, if you learn how to prompt well, it doesn't matter where that model's going, you can prompt the new model, right? And until something new comes along, what you learned from prompt skills versus learning a direct tool can be used across.
Right.
Sorry, Dwight, I cut you
Yeah.
off.
Oh no, not at all. It's funny because I've got the ultimate example of the power of AI. So I'm having dinner with a friend of mine, and he owns a trucking company, and he was talking about how with gas prices and everything else, things were going south with the trucking company. And I said, well, did you ask ChatGPT what to do about it? And he says, what's ChatGPT? I pull out my phone and I said, I'm a trucking company. I'm losing money on X, Y, and Z. What do I do? It literally spit out a business case. And I figured, all right, no big deal. Talked to him a week later. He's like, do you realize that you just saved me $20,000 in
Wow.
sunk costs by doing this?
Wow.
Now, granted, AI is not always going to have something
Yeah.
that big in terms of results, but
Well,
it really gets to the
that might have saved his
power.
business, Dwight.
And well, yeah, it did. It really did. It turned it around, and
Yeah.
you know, so and the fact that you can do it with just little prompts like that. It wasn't a long involved prompt or anything like
Yep.
that. It was just, and I told him, I said, look, here's how you use ChatGPT. Let me show you how you download it on your phone. Now, start using it for your business. See what works, what doesn't. Be skeptical of the answers and realize what you should and shouldn't be skeptical of.
Yep.
And
Well, so I know that you guys are going to hate me for this, but it's now 2:30 Eastern time, and
yeah,
we've done the half hour, which we always promise people these are only going to be a half hour. So, Jordan, we're going to have to come back, get you back
In a
on.
heartbeat.
We can talk a
Oh,
little
yeah.
bit deeper because we could talk about this stuff all day with you.
This could be a long form 4-hour podcast without a doubt.
oh, for sure. Yes.
I'll take
And still not be
And
enough
still not be
time.
finished.
Right.
Jordan Morrow, thank you so much, sir. You are a rock star. We love having you on.
Yeah.
so much.
It's
I'll
awesome.
come back anytime you guys need me.
Next week.
Sweet.
And heartbeat. In a heartbeat. I could talk this all day long.
All right, cool. Again,
Love
Jordan,
it.
thank you. Dwight,
you.
thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you being here, Jordan. This is awesome,
bet.
man.
And
bet.
thank you all for listening. Take care and stay safe.